Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $3.13. Earlier today, we were above $3.30, and then XRP came crashing down with the rest of the market. You could see it on Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin, when it was above 122K, I saw people calling for a $250,000 Bitcoin. They thought that was the moment Bitcoin was going to really start to take off. But the market came crashing down. And everybody's wondering what's going on with the price of XRP now, because the case is done and over with. And you see another useless pump and dump XRP morning. Nothing changed since the end of the case. Why? Well, Bill Morgan said this: the post-appeal dismissal XRP price pump has largely been lost due to a general market fall across the whole crypto market. No crypto is an island entire of itself. Every crypto is a piece of the ecosystem, a part of the main. Now, I agree with that to some extent. I think we need to decouple from Bitcoin. That needs to happen. Once the utility-driven cryptocurrencies are running on utility and regulations are put in place, I think that's going to be the decouple moment. I think that's where utility is going to take over this entire space. But until then, he is right. We are just following the rest of the market. And what about the NDA? So you see, Watcher Guru says, just in, SWIFT nearing agreement with Ripple to use XRP for cross-border payments, with billions of XRP secured in escrow as liquidity reserves. Remember that post? Now that the SEC versus Ripple circus is finally over, it's time to announce one of the 1,700 NDAs. And Bill Morgan says, nonsense, as if 1,700 NDAs that were drafted before the lawsuit commenced were drafted in a way that allowed the NDAs to expire on resolution of a lawsuit that had not commenced yet. In other words, he's saying a lot of these NDAs go back before the lawsuit, and we don't know the expiration date on those NDAs. I do believe that some of these companies are going to start talking about XRP more openly now because the lawsuit is done and over with. They know that XRP will never be deemed a security, but it's not written anywhere where these NDAs are now going to be talked about everywhere. I would love to see that happen as much as the next XRP holder. But people are blowing this way out of proportion. This comes from Jake Claver. This happened to many people with Bitcoin, and it will happen again with XRP. Invest in Assets says, your biggest mistake will most likely be selling a big winner too early. People are already running to the door on XRP. People are like, oh, the price didn't go to $5 plus overnight. I'm out. You know, the best part of being an XRP holder is about to happen, and everybody wants to sell off because it didn't pump today. You got to zoom out as an XRP holder. You can't look at the day-to-day on XRP. We're still following the 2017-2018 run perfectly. Nothing has changed. We're just waiting for the breakout to happen. And like I said, the case is now done. It's even been announced by the SEC. Breaking, SEC and Ripple reached joint stipulation to dismiss all appeals in SEC versus Ripple Labs, Garlinghouse, and Larson case. Ripple to pay $125 million civil penalty. Injunction remains in effect. Case now officially resolved. And even Hester Pierce and Paul Atkins had something to say. Hester Pierce says, last week the SEC's case against Ripple was finally laid to rest. A welcome development for many reasons, including that minds once occupied with litigation now can concentrate on creating a clear regulatory framework for crypto. Atkins says, Commissioner Pierce is right. With this chapter closed, we now have an opportunity to shift our energy from the courtroom to the policy drafting table. Our focus should be on building a clear regulatory framework that fosters innovation while protecting investors. Regulations are absolutely coming. We are so close to regulations. I think that's going to be the level playing field we've been waiting for. That's really going to turn the tide for utility-driven cryptocurrencies, because those regulations are going to say this is utility-driven and this is not. And people are going to park their money where real value is, where the cryptocurrency actually solves a real-world problem. Everybody wants it to remain like the wild, wild west in crypto. But you want the same people, they want institutional adoption at the same time. You're not going to bring institutions into this space as long as rug pulls keep happening, as long as we see companies crash and burn like FTX. That can't happen going forward, or we're never going to get to mass adoption. Crypto Eddie says, Bitcoin dominance still 60%. Will it dip? Yes, but not like past cycles. In my opinion, don't expect the same pattern as in past cycles. More OTC desk than ever before. Less retail FOMO. More ETFs absorb panic selling. Huge token inflation. More derivatives. Less spot trading. I think she's totally wrong, and she's not the only one pushing this narrative. Take a listen to this. Ethereum is a pump and dump.
Ethereum is a pump and dump, and Michael Saylor's strategy might get bought by the U.S. government in this episode of Crypto News in a Flash. So Bo Hines is stepping down as the Crypto Council chief, and Patrick Witt will replace him. Bo Hines is still going to be working with David Sachs on AI projects, apparently. Trump Media files for a Bitcoin ETF using Crypto.com as their custodian. Paxos applied for a banking charter with the OCC just like Circle and Ripple. And the top story is Samson Mao, former CSO of Blockstream and current CSO of Jan3, claims that Ethereum investors are rotating their Bitcoin to pump Ethereum. He says that they are trying to encourage the mentality of an Ethereum treasury, and this is all fake marketing. Their plans are to dump Ethereum once it reaches new highs and swap back to Bitcoin.
So that would be what would happen in a previous cycle. The problem here is this. Too many of these Bitcoin maxis, they're living in the past, and we are entering the future. Everybody thinks that they're going to keep circulating all their money. All this money is going to circle back into Bitcoin. I don't think so. I mean, XRP investors, most XRP investors are never going to sell their entire bag. And why would they? When we're on the verge of being able to get passive income from our XRP. Even with Ethereum, I think the money is not going back to Bitcoin. I think it's going to end up in use case driven cryptocurrencies, because what's the retail money going to do? It's going to follow the institutional money. Institutions, whether they want to believe it or not, are already looking past the Bitcoin ETFs. They're starting to create treasuries of XRP only. Companies are creating XRP treasuries now because they realize what's the future and what is the past. And anybody that believes that Bitcoin's not going to come crashing down, they are sadly mistaken. It's all going to start with the XRP ETFs. You're going to see a lot of institutional demand happen. But you're also going to see FOMO happening at the same time. Retail FOMO happening because there's a lot of retail still on the sidelines, still trapped in those previous cycle mentality of, oh, XRP is always last to move. So I could park my money in this meme coin over here. Once I make some profit, then I could put that money into XRP. But this cycle is about to change, in my opinion, because I think the regulations are going to be the game changer. I think we're also on the verge of those spot XRP ETFs getting approved. I think they're going to happen more likely in September now than October. And if that was to happen, again, the cycle will shift. And I think a lot of the money will shift with it. But to think that the 4-year cycle is over and Bitcoin's up forever, that narrative is just not going to play out good for Bitcoin holders. You could see the future coming now. And look at what's going on with Korea and Japan. What does the Koreans know? Americans don't. Take a listen to this coming from Riz.
I'm based in Korea, and with the only 53 million population, which is quite small, because probably 50% of the Japan, and maybe I don't know how many people are in the United States, but definitely more than 300 million people.
About 560 million. Yeah.
360. Okay. So now this Korea, when it comes with the Ripple, that Korea is taking approximately 20 something percent of the worldwide trading volume for the XRP, with only 7 billion users. Yeah. And this is quite amazing that, how this small population or users are trading this Ripple on the single exchange. Because, for the number one single, sort of the central exchange as Upbit, they're taking, their market share is approximately 50%. And average daily trading volume is more than 560 million US dollars for trading volume for the Ripple itself. And when it comes with the other registered for exchange, you could imagine that, why the Korean people are crazy about the Ripple. And in 2024, that the peak was a 700 something million US dollars for daily transaction. That was the peak time for the Ripple area. And indeed that, when we introduced this Spark token airdrop event in 2020, I don't know whether you remember. Because the Spark token made an announcement that, who hold any user who has a Ripple, that you are entitled to receive the Spark token. So we made the very comprehensive guideline that how to register. And we got very good attention from the Ripple community. And now the Spark token is supporting the Flare, which is one of our good partners. But frankly speaking, that, I really do not know that, why Korean people are so crazy about the Ripple. But one thing I know is the Ripple got very good attention from the Japan market, and entire team do the same sort of the marketing strategy in Korea on following year. So I think, there is a big event is coming in September timeframe, which is a Korea Blockchain World. And we are scheduled to have a separate meeting with the Ripple Foundation CEO, so that, we can discuss about, what are the things that we can contribute to make this Ripple economy or ecosystem healthier and bigger.
So it looks like they want to build out their ecosystem in Korea, utilizing Ripple technology. And did you take notice what he said? It started in Japan, and that's what got Korea so interested in XRP. And we all know what's going on with SBI in Japan. They're just leading the way forward. But you could already see how things are happening in the background while everybody's still focused on the price that's going on every single day. It's like right now, I look at it like this. We are down today. Tomorrow will most likely be a green day. It happens every single time. We're at the lower end of this right now. Most likely the next move up will be a decent move up. And you always zoom out. I mean, if you look at the 1 year on XRP, we're still up 467%. over the course of 1 year. And I'm expecting the gains that are going to be made in this really big alt season that's coming, which I think is going to turn into utility season. I think it's going to be absolutely astonishing to see that happen. I'm expecting XRP to be in double digits by October. I think by the end of this year, people are going to be setting higher price points for XRP going into January. Now, utility will prevent major pullbacks, in my opinion. If people are utilizing XRP on a daily basis for its actual use case, you're not going to see those pullbacks happening. And if we're getting a massive wave of institutional demand for XRP, and we have more and more companies creating XRP treasuries, I think the pullback on XRP is not going to be what people expect. But it's still going to happen for Bitcoin. People are already looking past that. People are tired of buying something, holding it, waiting for the price to go up, and then selling it off. They want to be able to utilize the token to fix problems that they have inside their company. Maybe it's payments. Maybe it's liquidity. Maybe they're going to get involved with tokenization. They're going to need something to move those tokenized assets. When it's something that solves a real world problem, the demand will always be there. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.